right, guys, thanks for joining us tonight on tonight's post-game press conference for New Mexico State men's basketball. Head coach Chris Jans has joined us here. Coach, obviously a game in which we had our chances, especially there in that last minute, down 3, a lot of good-looking shots that just unfortunately didn't go in. Take us through that and then the entire 40 minutes tonight, Coach.
You know, we had a hard time making baskets the majority of the night. We just struggled from the field, struggled from the free throw line. Both teams struggled from the free throw line. It wasn't just us, but, just sick and tired of feeling like this. I know I am. I'm assuming the guys are too, but been down this road too many times. And every time I go into Friday, not every time, but the last 3 weekends, I felt really good. Like I felt good. Like we're gonna win on Friday, and we're gonna catapult that to Saturday. And but the same thing coming into this series, and I started off like gangbusters early, looked good, and then just obviously couldn't sustain the level of play throughout the game.
Coach, was this did you like the effort better tonight than in previous Friday games? It seemed like they were putting forth quite a bit of effort.
Yeah, I told the staff, first glance in the coaches' locker room after the game that, certainly there's always plays, right? That, you'd like to think they could play a little harder. But I agree. I thought we had some effort, better effort, maybe longer periods of better effort. But we made some really silly decisions defensively the last 6-8 minutes of the ball game. Just silly decisions. We weren't very smart. We strayed from the coverages that had been working. And it wasn't like it was guys that get it, guys that have been around that just didn't do their job in certain situations, and they made us pay. Woodbury got 2 threes out of our double team action that we employed all night long. We limited Amax to 2 field goal attempts. He only had 3 offensive rebounds, and that was a big plan of ours, is to guard inside out and try to make it hard on him, which we did. But we just weren't in the right spots, and a couple double teams late, and then they were just setting a ball screen in the middle of the floor, and nothing that no one's seen or we haven't seen from other teams or even going into this game. And we just, I don't know, we made some poor decisions in our positioning, and they made us pay for it. So that was disappointing that we couldn't get some stops. We couldn't just get some stops when the game was in balance, and they just got to the line and got a couple threes that Woodbury nailed, and that were big difference makers.
Coach C.J. Roberts had a career high in points off the bench today. Just what did you see out of him tonight?
Yeah, he helped us. He had 13 points, and he took 12 shots. So I wouldn't call it the most efficient game by any stretch of the imagination. But he was trying, and he got his hands on some balls and gave us a lift offensively. And he's got a lot of ability to get to the basket and create for himself. At times, I wish he'd try to create for some others as well, and make the game a little bit easier. And hopefully that will come in time. But he helped us definitely, and his minutes were productive.
Coach, is this kind of like after game 1 against Seattle? Where, I know you still need to look at the film, but where you feel like maybe the game plan was on point, you don't have to make too many changes heading into tomorrow?
When I say that, let's be clear. It's not a pat on the back. Okay, that we're in charge of this program, and I'm in charge of the program. So when I say we don't make changes, it's not a pat on the back to us. maybe, we need to make more changes. But even tonight, we didn't really adjust that much at halftime. We felt like we'd make some more shots. I mean, there was a big difference in field goal percentage at the half between us, and unfortunately, it remained the same. We shot a lot of threes, and I'm sure people will be critical of that, but they played a lot of zone, and they got some really big guys around the basket, and we had a lot of clean looks. I mean, we had a lot of clean looks, and from guys that, I'm very confident in that made the shot, and just got to the point where that contagious thing fell through our team, and it's like a lid on the basket. Certain possessions, and one where we could have tied the game. I think we had 3 wide open looks by guys that could shoot the ball pretty well, and we were unable to knock one of those down.
Hey, Coach, I guess the teams of previous years, we've talked about it in previous years, just have had such a killer instinct in terms of when it's time to close out a game, like you guys would close out the games. This year's team, is it just a matter of getting guys to gel in together? Is it not having game experience, or am I reading way too much into it? It was a bad shooting night. I mean, just kind of, how do you feel about that in terms of, that I guess in that regard?
I don't think you're reading too much into it. It's different. We just talked about it on the bus with a couple of the coaches, and I don't know, like when in the heat of the battle, when we've had timeouts in the past, it just felt different. It's just, and I don't know why. There's a lot of people could speculate on exactly why. It's my job to know why and change it. But I don't know. I wish I could get more response out of them at times. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I hate saying that, but if I knew, I'd fix it. But yeah, this was a game that, we had opportunities to elongate a couple of leads that we had there in the second half. And, we were unable to do so. And people will blame the shooting, and I get all that. But we had some defensive breakdowns that were really poor, and they made us pay. And to me, that was a difference in the ball game. What I alluded to earlier, some breakdowns and the doubling of the post, and then just the high ball screen and how we were trying to defend it. It's like, I don't know, they went away from what we normally do, and we just couldn't get the key stops when we really needed it. And sure, we're 7 for 29 from 3, and a lot of 0 for and 1 fors on the stat sheet that, you obviously got to make shots too.
Coach, how much, obviously the Friday night struggles that you guys have had and coming off years, where you guys have dominated the conference, but obviously too, I mean, it probably just, the WAC is getting better as a whole, top to bottom as well too. Is that, just kind of going into the difference in results?
I don't know, maybe, but we've definitely been served a pretty big helping of humble pie. I don't think anyone would have predicted this in and around our program. Certainly I didn't. I do believe we're getting better. I mean, our practices this week were pretty good. We started the game off great. I thought for the most part, our effort was sustained a little bit longer, and we just couldn't make, like Colin alluded to, we couldn't make those big plays that we've been making around here. It's not like, the last 3 years we dominated every game. We had lots of close games, along the way, and we figured out a way to stick together and find ways to win. And, that boosts your confidence. And, when you lose games, that can attack your confidence level, and it can get inside you a little bit. And, I'm not sure if that's going on either, but they didn't come out like, they weren't confident the way they started the game. So at the end of the day, I thought, again, our level of intensity and effort was better, longer periods of time. We took care of the basketball really, really well. Got pretty organized. They were switching defenses, which was good for us. You know, we had some late game situations that they executed really, really well. You know, and it's nice to know that they can do that in the heat of the battle. And unfortunately, you know, we just didn't make enough baskets.
Anything else for Coach tonight, guys? Okay, perfect. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Charlie.
thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Coach. See you
Appreciate it,
tomorrow.
Coach.